say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but let's coin our own phrase. Value is in the eye of the beholder. This is Journey to Wealth with your host, Temi, and I'm here with Faith Praise, the author of more than 100 Truths You Need to Know About Wealth. If you don't have the book already, information is in the description below, so you can grab your own copy. We also have details on our website where you can discover some other key insights about true wealth. Now, I've been here with Faith Praise, going through the different ingredients of wealth in our previous episodes. And we've now made it to the seventh ingredient, which is value creation. Value creation. And I'd like to start with reading the different types of value and pull a question out of that. Now, it says here, there are different kinds of value. Emotional value, which is being a good friend. Psychological value, sharing your knowledge and experience gained over the years. Spiritual value, sharing your faith. Material value, creating a tangible thing that impacts another life. Now, where exactly does value come from?
Yeah, value may come from God. Because to some of us, we don't even know that we don't know who we are. Talk less of what we are or what we are worth. But coming to God and begin to define us, explains to us as we begin to learn what we are worth and begin to realize what we can do, what we can produce. For instance, we are not the creator.
Yes.
God is the creator.
Yes.
But He has delegated authority to us to continue creating from what He has created.
Yes, of course.
Only God can create from nothing. But we can create from something He has created. So value may also come from one's past, void in life, the things that are empty. You're growing up, to me, or for me, growing up, I grew up inside a shop, and I envy other children wearing trousers and wearing shoes. So you understand how much value I place on being rich, on having everything you need, eating what you want. So value may comes from that void in your past life. Value can also come from your present pursuit. You want to win, you want to achieve, you want to be known as a good person. You want to impact your world. So before you know it, you are developing, you are becoming valuable, and you start to create value through what you are realizing to be something that can cause you to win in life. And the value may also come from what you want to be. You want to be healthy in your old age. You want to have a good family. You don't want to die begging. All right?
Yeah.
So your pursuit in life can create value. So putting all these things together tells you what may likely be valuable to others. So you begin to create something for others that they begin to. Remember, when we define money, we say money is a reward
for solving a problem. Yeah.
But what you give to people at this time is value. When you give them value, then what you get, there is wealth. The result is wealth.
Yes.
So just like you have read in the book, the emotional value, being a good friend. That's valuable. Nobody wants to be a friend to somebody who is not bringing anything to the table.
Of course.
Yes. And you have spiritual value. And so on and so forth. So value comes from those areas. It comes from God, it comes from your past void, it comes from your person wins. And it also comes from what you're aspiring to achieve or be in life.
Wow, that's very insightful. Now, it comes from the past challenges that I may have gone through, maybe the way that I grew up or was raised, things that I experienced that I don't want to experience again, determines what I now desire to have. And of course, the present as well, things that I've done well in, who I want to be. And then the future is also there. The goal that I have for my family or for my health or my spiritual life or whatever it may be, that really determines where I place my value. And just as you pointed as well, I guess we can assume that as a result of maybe the challenges that I went through in the past and I value something, I can assume that other people may be in that same place.
Exactly.
So I know how I can create value for them as well. That is very, very key. Now, I've heard you mention in your Journey to Wealth workshop, information on that in the description for you to be able to join and become a member. You've mentioned that there are levels of value creation. And I'd like for you to walk us through that, especially using that scripture that you used as well.
Which scripture is that?
In Genesis.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right. Everything we are copied from God. Just like we say about money, same thing about wealth. The amount of value you can create for people determines the amount of wealth you have. But there are different means in which these values are communicated, are given to people.
Yes.
So what most people that are poor, they use their energy, physical, body, we're talking about people who, like a car mechanics, like people who, washermen, cooks,
construction work,
exactly,
all of that.
People who use their energy to work, and that will give you very low value. You are creating a very, very low value. And what you have in return is low wealth.
Low wealth.
Yes.
Okay.
The more you create value, that determines how much of wealth you have.
Yes.
So using energy is the lowest form of value creation. So the next one you can have is employing people to work for you, managing people, or collaborating, or networking, or multi-levels.
Okay, networking.
The Bible says it's better for 2 or 3, for they have their reward. 3-fold not easily broken. So what one can do, the Bible says, one shall chase 1,000, but 2 shall chase 10,000.
Yes.
You understand? So the more people you can employ or manage or network with or collaborate with is another level of value creation. And you see managers being paid over a laborer, a messenger, and co. That's another form of value creation. And the third value creation ability is when you develop to begin to use your voice.
Using your voice.
Your voice. And we have a lot of people in that, consultants, your musicians, communicators, people, of high value who just use their voice. That is higher. Actually, real wealth started from this level. From using your voice. And the last one is imagination. If you can imagine things, people already imagine that they will be spending holidays in the moon. And the kind of business, kind of value that will create imagination. You understand? People are creating robots to replace human. It starts from imagination. and they will walk through. When you get to that highest form of value creation, using your imagination. Now, it involves all those 4 levels.
Okay.
You will employ people that will use energy to physically produce those things. All managers will manage them. And then there will be communicators. And you are communicating this vision that you are imagining. And that is coming into the realm of God. All right? So in Genesis chapter 1, you see that happen.
Yeah.
And God said, let there be light.
Yes.
There was light. So he spoke. All right? So let the water bring forth fishes. All right?
Yes.
But when it comes to man, he spoke to himself. He didn't say, let there be. He didn't say, let the water bring forth. All right? He spoke to himself and then form man from the soil.
Yeah.
That can be the least level, physicality, using energy.
Yes.
All right? And then let us. You see, it's the work of 3 of them. All right? And then he spoke. From what it, let us create man in our own image, imagination. All right? And we can say, well, only God can do that. But if you move further to Genesis 11:6, while they say, let us build a tower that will reach to heavens.
Yes.
If you read that portion of the Bible, the 4 aspect was also practiced. Do you understand?
Yeah.
The 4 aspect was God himself testified that there is nothing they imagine to do. Imagine that would be impossible.
Yes.
But let you see the combination of all of them. So it's there are 4 levels of Christ. So you decide where you want to be by how much of wealth you want to create. If you decide to be using energy, fine. Because to use energy, you may not need any form of development or education and all that. And that's why many people rested in that level. If you are going to come to where you have to be using your voice, a lot of development.
Yes.
But God gave us all. He gave us energy. He gave us the ability to relate. Remember, in the power, it's relationship. Means.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And then he gave us ability to speak.
Yes.
To speak. And then we can imagine. Say whatsoever they imagine to do. Is it if you stop at imagination without doing, you're looking like anybody, you can't create wealth.
Yeah. Wow, that's great. So there are different levels of value creation, and you started with the first one being energy or working hard. Now, there'd be the deception of when you use your energy, you feel like you're really doing something.
Exactly.
And I guess that's probably a quality of someone that is poor.
Yeah.
Now that I'm understanding.
That's why people are poor. That's the list.
Yes. Yeah. And you kind of just limit yourself to, I have to use my energy to do something, because you feel like in that way, using your energy, you're working hard, getting tired, you're succeeding in life. Yes. Whereas it doesn't actually have to be that way.
Exactly.
And we see that when we move to the next level, which is networking or being a manager. And this is where I guess we're actually growing in wealth as well, because this includes strategic relationships in a way, because you have to relate with other people.
Learning how to manage people.
Yes, learning how to manage
You
people.
have to have the fruit of the Spirit to bear people. And so on and so forth.
Yes.
It's a level of development.
Yes, that's true, because people will test you.
All
people
right.
will test you.
And you can't manage people that knows more than you. You need to develop.
Yes.
That's why people resolved to stay in that energy using wealth creation.
Yes, and the development, as I'm learning now, is consistent. You never stop developing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll stay at the same level. The person that may have been below you will now become above you if they choose to develop and grow. Then we move to the third level, which is using your voice. And you mentioned here that this is where real wealth begins. And I'd like for you to explain that a bit, because I'm wondering why you mentioned that at that third level.
Where do I start from? I am here because I'm using my voice.
Yeah.
You don't want to bring somebody who's using energy to come and talk about anything. He's doing so much, but it may not be able to know how to communicate it.
Yes.
Yes. This book came as a result of using my voice.
Yes.
Because I was just communicating some wealth of knowledge. I mean, knowledge and my knowing and all that. And that's creating wealth. Yeah.
Yes, of course. Now, would you say that as you increase in the levels, does the work get easier in a way? Would you say using your voice is easier than using energy?
That's not true. People who think of that try to use their voice and they become poor. What you have to know in the journey to wealth is you must never look for easy things.
Yeah.
Remember, wealth comes to you because you're solving a problem. To be able to solve a problem, you must know beyond the problem or the challenges.
Of course.
So the issue in any level is not that it's easy. If you're desiring easy things, you are desiring poverty.
If you're desiring easy things, you're desiring poverty. That's something to jot down.
Yes, because God did not create man to walk in that easy form.
Yeah.
If not, He would not send Jesus Christ. He would just speak His word, everybody be born again, everybody be rich, everybody. You understand? It's not in His mind, so He must not cross any normal human's mind to be looking for easy way or easy things. Rather desire that you are stronger, you are more developed than the challenges that you are faced with. Yeah.
So always try to reach greater heights. Always try to pursue more than you are. Don't limit yourself to what you think you can do. I think that's really important to note.
It's very important that you continue to develop yourself. Don't develop yourself because a challenge comes your way. Keep developing yourself.
Yes.
And when challenges come, the challenge is too low to where you are. So don't desire a easy task. Don't desire an easy way. Desire that you are better.
Desire that you're better.
Yes.
Yes.
Prepare and prepare.
Yes. Desire that you are better and keep preparing.
Developing,
keep developing.
Yeah.
Yes. And even with that, trying to look for that easy way out or that shortcut.
That is a poverty mentality.
Yes.
That's what we are trying to defeat.
Exactly. Exactly. You want basically getting out of your comfort zone is also what I'm hearing as well.
Yeah.
Yes. And the last level, which is imagination, being able to use your mind to imagine things, or I guess this ideas come into play here as well.
Yeah.
The ideas that I'm imagining, I'm able to bring them into reality. And once you reach this level, it's like you become the brain of the operation, because you're managing those that are using their energy. You may be using your voice as well.
You are not managing them. The managers are there in the second
the
level.
managers are there. Yeah. So you're just at the top, imagining, giving the vision.
Yes.
That's the word.
That's
you're
it.
giving the vision and the goal for the others. Yes. That's really important. Now, we move on to another section within value creation. I believe it's in the action points. Yes, I wanted to ask about this one because I think it might be on other people's minds. It's the last one that says, do not shy away from monetizing your value. Now, I need some clarity here. How do you know when it comes to monetizing your value that you aren't too expensive, or you're not too cheap, or you're just right? How do you gauge that?
Now, what I wrote here is monetizing your value.
Yes.
So if that's what you want to do, then the question does not arise whether it's expensive or is, because I didn't say that you must make a certain amount of money through what you create. So, but you see, what's come to you is determined by the value that you create for people.
Yes.
How people see this. For instance, this is created through some of my teachings.
Yes.
All right, especially my past teachings. Now, okay, you look at the cost, all right, and other logistics, and then you put your price. I think we're going to talk about in the future when we're talking about pricing. You know, you put your price determined by a lot of factors.
Okay.
You know, and then you see, don't be in the beginning looking for money.
Yeah.
Again, that currency, you will miss the whole point. Again, we have to repeat that story that was said in the former episode, that a guy was given an option to receive $10,000 or have 10,000 friends. After thought, he said 10,000 friends. Later on, he asked his friends to give $1 each. So he has $10,000.
Yeah.
And later on, he asked his friends to refer to somebody to invest in his product. He have another $10,000. So now he has $20,000. He still has his 10,000 friends.
Yes.
So if I say monetize, I'm saying let this thing not only manage its cost, but to be able to keep you on. And if that is on your the motivating factor, then you will see things happening in the future. So your first goal is how your value can get into as many people that will in return bring wealth towards you. Yeah.
Yes. I think it's even important to keep mentioning that this is about wealth and not currency. Because even as I asked that question and you were answering, I was like, wait a second. When I heard monetizing your value, I immediately jumped to currency again. I thought it was cash. But we've talked about before how value can be exchanged for other things. Any of those other ingredients. It doesn't have to be currency.
This can bring a strategic relationship that may change my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because someone can read this and it gains so much, receive so much insight, and then they're like, okay, let me give you this hall or something where you can be teaching, or, I don't know, whatever it may be.
Or come teach the people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and that becomes a strategic relationship for you.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for highlighting that on monetizing your value is not about currency. Remember, we're talking about wealth here, and wealth is not only money. Yes, money is an ingredient of wealth, but there are two types of money. If you don't know about that, it's in a previous episode. Link will be in the description for you to check that out. How would you like to end this episode? What is one word or one phrase you'd like to advise the people?
I don't have one word, but what I'll tell people is you are full of value. Both by nature. God has put inside of us great wealth. And so begin to study now. Begin to know yourself.
Yes.
You know, have personal education about yourself. And so begin to package your value until it's given to somebody. Any value that is not given to people cannot be turned to wealth back to you. So if you create those value for people, as many people that can receive value from you brings back wealth to you.
Yes.
So as you are doing it, so you see now it brings us to another course that everybody must add to their study. Sales, marketing.
Sales and marketing.
Sales and marketing.
Yes.
Very important. So a lot of people are valuable, but they don't know how to market it.
Yes, of course. Of course. And I'm sure we'll discuss that in another episode, breaking down marketing further. And that would bring a lot of insight to many people. Now, you've heard it here with Faith Praise, the author of More Than 100 Truths You Need to Know About Wealth. You are valuable and full of value. You just need to realize it, recognize that. Sit down and think about it. Who are you? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What is within you that God has already put there that you need to realize? Think about that. This has been Journey to Wealth with your host, Temi. And as always, don't forget to order your copy of this book. Information is in the description below. Also follow, subscribe, like, comment, share with others. Journey to Wealth. Thank you so much. And thank you again, as always, for always listening in to this podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, don't stop here. Check out these 2 videos for more insights. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode.